Hi, everyone. I wanted to show you how you could bring the eye to the subject of this photo a little bit better by lightening her up in Photoshop. This is a really nice picture, but since the subject is in shadow, she's not really popping out against the background the way we want her to. So I'm going to use the object selection tool. Whoops, sorry, I chose the wrong tool. Let's try that again, object selection tool. And it's making a pretty good selection around the figure. I also want to add to that selection by getting a little bit of the tree, the log in the foreground. When I'm using the quick selection tool, that's what I'm going to use for that. I'm going to have to hold my shift key. And to select the log in the foreground. And then it got some of the ground that I don't want here. So I'm going to hold my option key to take away from that. And you can see I can't quite get exactly what I want. You know, these tools are great, but they're not perfect. I've never made a perfect selection with any of the selection tools without having to go in and edit it a little bit more. So I'm going to go into select and mask, and let me zoom in just a little bit so we can see what we're doing here. And I'm going to use the Refine Edge tool. And that's what it's going to do, is it's going to make the edge a little bit more irregular. Let me just go into black and white real quick and show you the difference between what I just did and what those selection tools gave me. So, you know, that selection is far from perfect. Now, part of the problem is that this is a very pixelated image because I didn't have the original high resolution file. I'm just working off a screenshot that I made. Even when you're working with a good quality image, you are going to get this abrupt cutoff between the black pixels and the white pixels, or the selected pixels and the masked pixels, unless you come in with this Refine Edge tool. And so I'm just gonna, it only takes a second. I'm gonna go around the whole figure. It's gonna make, you know, this edge a little bit more fuzzy, but that's a good thing in a case like this. Go along her legs. And let's see here. I don't think it's gonna be able to figure out, maybe it is gonna be able to. Okay, so this part of the negative space between her arm and her body, Refine Edge tool seems to be picking that up pretty well. Okay, let me see if I can get this little piece right here. Wasn't really expecting that to work. I'm gonna make my brush a little bigger, and again, that's the right bracket key. And I'm just gonna drag it along this log. And you know, this irregular edge that it's creating is great for anything in nature, you know, because nature's already kind of soft-edged and irregular anyway. Now you can see that the selection tool did not get part of her shoes, so just pick that up like that. And I need to get a really small brush and hold down my option key to get this little piece of background right here. And I think I see another piece right here. And I'm pretty sure that about does it. I just want to take a look at it in the black and white view. You can see how fuzzy the edge is. And this is great because, I mean, it's actually like selected the edge of leaves and the irregular shape of the bark. And, you know, while this may look a little wonky in this view, it's actually going to look a lot more natural when I make that adjustment. When I make that adjustment layer, because there won't be this abrupt cutoff between masked and unmasked areas. So you want to output to selection, click OK, and then we make our selection layer. I'm sorry, our adjustment layer. Been a long day. And we want to just do an exposure. Most of the time when I'm editing photographs, exposure is what I edit for. Sometimes I do a little saturation. Okay. A little color change even, but in this case, I'm not going to. I want her to pop out from the background. So if I go up to just under +1, it looks pretty good. I feel like maybe it's just a little blown out on the face, so I'm going to show you a trick for that. Okay. Oh, by the way, that face is just a little out of focus, so we want to be careful with that in the future. You always want the eyes in focus. Okay. Here's a little trick to kind of get rid of some of the edit that I just made. So the white area here is edited, and the black area here is the mask. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a paintbrush and I'm going to set the opacity low so that I can paint out a little bit, but not all of the edit I just made. So when you have your mask selected, you have to have a box around it or it doesn't work. Okay. I'm going to get a paintbrush over here. I want to make sure that my color is black because I'm going to be kind of painting a black mask in. And I want to set my opacity kind of low. I'm going to set it for 30%. Okay, let me make my brush just a little bigger. And I'm just going to bring it over these areas that I felt were a little blown out on the face. Of course, the face is, you know, where we want the most attention to go, but, you know, she's closer to the light up there. Okay, and I think that looks, you know, like an improvement right there. Okay, so let's just take a look at it before and after the edit. There it is before. And there it is after. So you're, you know, it's a perfectly nice picture as it is, but your subject is popping out just a little bit more and it looks better. Now I'm trying to figure out how to turn this off.